It's time for This Week with the Huskies, a look inside Bloomsburg University athletics, a production of the Bloomsburg University Sports Information Office.
The Bloomsburg University football team officially began defense of its 2013 PSAC championship with the opening of spring practices last Friday. The Huskies will practice throughout the month of April, leading up to the annual Maroon and Gold spring game on Saturday, April 26th at 11:30 a.m. at Redmond Stadium. This spring, the Huskies will begin several interesting position battles as they work to try to fill the holes left by the graduation of one of the strongest senior classes in school history. Head coach Paul Dara talks about the opening of the spring season and the work the Huskies have ahead of them.
Well, the guys have been working hard. We've been focusing on the conditioning and the weight room prior to the start of spring ball on Friday. But certainly there's always that excitement in the air. There's a lot of new faces. Guys, certainly spring ball is the opportunity to kind of, for young guys to take another step. And with our senior class, we're going to be challenged in replacing them. But I think our focus, as always in spring ball, is to get a really good idea of where we are at each position, depth. There's probably more competition this spring than there's been in a long time because of the senior class that we lost, so it really is. You can sense it with the guys. We can't wait to get on the field, and I think with all the off-season conditioning and weight training to get them ready. Certainly, I think we've done a great job of that, but we're all looking forward to getting on the field on Friday.
You mentioned some of the position battles that you do have and having to replace one of the best senior classes in school history, particularly, obviously, a Harlan Hill Trophy winner at running back, some very important key parts on both lines. The guys you have coming back, though, what do you feel that they were able to maybe take from watching the guys in front of them and some of the things that you've seen from them over the past year in terms of their growth and what you're expecting to see from position battles?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they learned from them by example. I think one of the things that that senior class did was through the course of their 4 or 5 years here, they certainly worked and put themselves in positions to be great players. And that's where this off-season program, that's where it all starts. And so, those guys just didn't become great players. They worked to get there. And so I think that's hopefully one of the biggest things that they learned from that group. And it didn't happen overnight for all of them either. And so I think the young guys got to know that it does sometimes take time. And so, but the other part of it, I think, is that sometimes we're not going to be able to replace individually a guy like Franklin or even Glenn Hutton or Dan Fisher. It may have to be by committee. And so I think that's the one thing that we've been able to do here in the past. We haven't had that kind of senior class in the past, but we've had a group of guys that have been able to have that kind of production together at a particular position. So that may be the case with this football team. Either way, though, you're correct. It's going to be a tough senior class to replace.
The Huskies baseball team continued its strong play this past week, splitting a doubleheader at 11th-ranked Shippensburg and then also splitting a 4-game series with 21st-ranked Millersville, the top 2 ranked teams in the Atlantic region. Bloomsburg is now 16-12 on the year and has already surpassed its conference win total of a year ago, now standing at 9-5 in the PSAC East. A key to the Huskies' success has been their strong pitching. Bloomsburg ranks first in the PSAC this season with a team ERA of 2.81. Atop the Huskies' rotation is senior Casey Cooperman and junior Tayler Hill. Head coach Mike Collins talks about their performances so far this season.
They've done really well. I mean, Cooperman has pitched a lot for us. He's pitched a lot of big games. He's going to be up there in the record books in terms of numbers of innings pitched. I think the experience he's had in the last 4 years really prepared him to play the significant role he has as a senior. Tayler Hill is a real competitor, and he was a bullpen guy for us in the first couple of years, and we kind of been grooming him to be a starter. And he's an extremely hard worker, and he's kind of developed physically to a point where he can have he has 3 pitches for strikes, and his velocity has continued to climb, and so he's really turned into a starter. He kind of meets the profile of a starter, and both guys are strike throwers. We really we keep strike percentages on all our guys, and we really fit them in the roles based on their ability to throw strikes and command pitches. And both those guys have command of 3 pitches. Their strike percentages are really high in all 3. And if you could throw a lot of strikes and you have good stuff, you're going to win. And those guys just fill up the zone with strikes. And if we catch the ball behind them, it's going to be tough for offenses to score off those guys.
The Huskies will travel to Clarion for a non-conference doubleheader tomorrow afternoon, and then they will return to PSAC East play by hosting Kutztown on Friday at 1 p.m. on Upper Campus. The Huskies are also scheduled to host the University of the Sciences on Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. at Danny Littweiler Field. In other spring sports action, the Husky softball team now stands at 12-9 overall on the season and is 4-4 in the PSAC East after splitting a doubleheader at Lock Haven on Sunday. Caitlin O'Connor leads the team in batting average, hitting .423 on the year. Sarah Bertoni is also hitting over .400 with a .417 batting average for the season. Tayler Parker continues her strong work in the circle, leading the team with a 7-4 record and a 1.22 ERA with 43 strikeouts and 63 in the third innings pitched. The softball team will host Millersville on Friday for its home opener as the Huskies work to make up a host of games delayed by weather in what will be, weather permitting, a busy week on the diamond.
Rungo's Rewards, presented by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, is a great way to win prizes for attending BU home sporting events. It's free and easy to become a member. Just look for the QR code located in the program of each home sporting event. Scan the QR code and you're registered. It's that easy. Or even better yet, download the Rungo's Rewards app from both the App Store on iTunes or in the Android Marketplace. Just search Bloomsburg University. You can later on trade those points in for some great prizes like gift cards to Berrigan's, coupons to Perkins, or free t-shirts. It's easy to become a member. Sign up at the next Huskies home game.
In tennis, the Huskies men's and women's teams put together a great week on the courts. The men scored a convincing 8-1 victory over Millersville with straight-set singles wins by Dennis Ikejiri, Will Humphrey, and Kyle Christie. On the women's side, the Huskies have won 5 straight matches to move to 7-4 overall on the season and 5-0 in PSAC play. Bloomsburg defeated Westchester 6-3, East Stroudsburg 8-1, Millersville 7-2, Shippensburg 8-1, and Cheney 9-0 over the past week. Nicole Slagle has won 6 straight singles matches, while Caitlin Flynn and Erin Rittenauer have both won 4 in a row. Both teams play host to Kutztown today at 3 o'clock on the Upper Campus courts. This weekend, the Huskies host the BU Duels on Saturday and Sunday. They take on Bluefield State, Slippery Rock, and the University of Charleston. The Huskies women's lacrosse team scored an 18-13 victory at Slippery Rock this past Saturday. Marissa Moley led the way with 5 goals, while Julie Folk added 4 goals and 2 assists. Abby Burnett made 6 saves in the cage to earn the victory. Bloomsburg is now 7-3 on the season and 5-1 in the PSAC, and they're ranked 15th in the latest National Division II poll. The Huskies are off until this upcoming Saturday when they travel to Edinburgh for a PSAC contest. The Huskies return home on Tuesday, April 15th at 4 p.m. inside Sports Stadium.
The Bloomsburg University track and field team competed at the Crusader Classic at Susquehanna University on Saturday, April 5th. Junior Tayler Harkins had a memorable meet for Bloomsburg, breaking her school record in the hammer throw. She surpassed the old mark of 40.46 meters with a toss of 44.45 meters. I had a chance to sit down with Tayler and talk to her about the season so far. Did you go into the meet at Susquehanna feeling like you had a record in you?
I was hoping for a PR. I knew that I had more in me, but 4 meters was definitely a lot, and it was a good feeling to get that much out.
Now, you also hold a couple of school records on the indoor side. Do you like the indoor season or the outdoor season better, or doesn't that really matter to you?
I definitely like both, but if I had to pick, I would choose the outdoor. There's more events. They're more fun.
Yeah.
So.
Does the bad weather concern you at all that you guys have had to deal with this year?
It's not fun to throw in the rain, but you always make do. So.
Now, well, how far do you think you can throw? Do you feel like you've hit your record peak yet?
I hope not. I hope I have a whole lot more in me. Hope we'll see by the end of the season.
What do you have to do as a thrower to get better?
A lot of practice, a lot of footwork, lifting. That always helps.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
The Bloomsburg men's track and field team also competed at the Crusader Classic at Susquehanna University on Saturday. Senior Jack Rosenstein also set the school record in the hammer throw for the men's team with a toss of 53.91 meters. I had a chance to sit down with Jack and talk to him about the season and competing in such bad weather.
You can't really prepare for it, I guess. Just kind of have to go for it, make do, and hope for the best.
Now, how did you get involved with the sport, and is it something that you really enjoyed as soon as you got involved?
Yeah, I did enjoy it very much when I got involved. I started in middle school, actually, when all of our football coaches were the track coaches, and they wanted me to go out for it. And after the first meet, I did very well, so stuck with it and got better and decided something I definitely would want to do in college.
Did they immediately put you over in the throwing area?
Oh, of course. Definitely.
Now, what's the hardest thing you encounter when you tell people about your event? When you say, I throw the hammer, and does anybody give you the strange looks?
Sort of, yeah. They ask, what exactly it is, and all I say, most people know what the shot put is, so I just say it's a shot put on a chain. You spin around a bunch of times and throw it, and they're like, oh, that's really cool. So.
Now, what are your goals for the rest of the year, and how are you preparing to hopefully exceed the school records that you set?
Well, my biggest goal is definitely to qualify and hopefully go to nationals. This past weekend I was only 2 inches off, so that was a little frustrating but promising in a way. And just keep doing the same thing. I mean, it's working, so why stop?
Well, we want to wish you and the team the best of luck the rest of the way.
Great, thank you very much.
Both the Bloomsburg University men's and women's track teams will be in action this coming Saturday at the Bison Open at Lewisburg University. Originally, the Huskies were scheduled to host the Husky Open, but that has been postponed and will not be made up. That's all for this week's edition of This Week with the Huskies. Be sure to join us again next week, and make sure to follow the Huskies on the web at buhuskies.com.